Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is your host Nas. Today I'm going to share with you yet another one of my personal paranormal stories. There are many things in this world that science can't explain. This is why I have started this channel. Some may say I have a rich imagination, but only I will know whether it's a fact or fiction. Today I'm going to share with you a controversial topic about 鬼压床, also known as sleep paralysis. In this story, some of these events are probably not exactly sleep paralysis, but similar to one and are somehow linked. Scientifically speaking, it can be explained as a brief loss of muscle control while you are still feeling awake. What I will be sharing is a plethora of countless different kinds of sleep paralysis throughout my life, and also strangely, I have never experienced them anymore now. If not for a specific paranormal event that had happened, I would have deemed it to be explainable with science. Since the event that I will be sharing are all linked, I decided to share them by splitting this story into two parts. I have tried to put them in chronological order of the time frame that this event has happened, as accurately as possible as it has been such a long time ago. So for any discrepancy found, please forgive me. Without further ado, let's go. The dream Inception. I started to experience sleep paralysis at the age of about 14 years old. I had no idea what caused it to happen. Before this, I must share that I have been without religion, though it does not mean that I am an atheist. I choose to believe that every religion exists and they are all genuine, and decided not to take a side even though my parents are Buddhists. That being said, I will always make use of my little knowledge of science before I conclude that any event is paranormal activity. I vaguely remember that this event of sleep paralysis started when I have my own room, as my parents deemed that I'm too old to be sleeping in the same room as my sisters. Yay! This is probably a dream come true for most people, to have their own room, and yes, it is for me too. Initially, my bed was shifted close to the inner part of the room, as I don't like the idea of having my bed close to the main window, and moved to a position next to a tiny window that will be right above my bed with no choice. The location I choose is not due to any paranormal related reasons, but because living in a country that rains often, it is not ideal to sleep next to the window, and then the rain suddenly falls on your face or body in the middle of the night. Getting to the main story, this may be the weirdest sleep paralysis, as this particular sleep paralysis repeated quite a few times during my sleep through the age of 14 years old. I would often have looping dreams of me realizing that I'm in a dream while in my house. The dream would keep looping me starting from my living room, and I would keep running back into my room to see myself sleeping there, and I would have a realization that I'm dreaming and wake up. This would last for about a good 10 times before I was able to finally wake up from my dream in real life, and then I would be drenched in a cold sweat. I would say this event happened on random occasions and too often. I started to look at my room's layout and wonder to myself, what is the issue? I tried experimenting with a few things at first, such as changing my sleeping position, but to no avail. It was then when I looked in front of my bed that I had the inspiration of covering my wardrobe mirror, which was facing directly at my bed the whole time, and it somehow worked. I stopped having this looping dream. It is a really scary experience of not being able to wake up when you want to, when you are aware of it. If you have some sleep paralysis issue, I would gander that you try my method of covering the mirror, or at least shift it away from facing your bed. The Outbody Levitation. My story didn't end there and then. This is where my nightmare actually continued. My sleep paralysis didn't end at my dream inception. I started experiencing out-of-body levitation. Some days, I would feel somehow my body levitate and turn 360 degrees and return to my sleeping posture a few times during my sleep, while feeling that I'm stuck between conscious and unconscious state. During the event, I'm able to only open my eyes partially and peek at what happened, and I wasn't able to move my body. It was a really weird and uncomfortable feeling. I was sure that I was awake, as I usually go to bed at about 10 PM, and during the event, there was light entering my partially open eyes, and I can hear noise from the television as the room door wasn't fully shut to the living room. Was it just my soul that is levitating, or has my physical body levitated? No one could verify it for me, as I was alone in the room sleeping. It happens so often that my body levitates and goes back to its original position that I just gave give up on caring about it as it is not too discomforting for me. I would tell myself it is scientifically impossible to be levitating and it was just a dream, and continue sleeping when the episode of levitation stopped. All this while, during this episode of Outbody Levitation, I have been sleeping in a fixed location, which is my head towards the main window and legs to the wall. I didn't think of changing my sleeping posture as I don't feel that this sleep paralysis is affecting my sleep in any way, until one fine day I decided to change my sleeping position to head towards the wall and legs to the window, and this out-of-body levitation stopped. But you probably guessed it right. Let's continue to what happens next. Astral projection. This happens when I'm already 15 years old, and it's a continuation of after I've switched my sleeping position to my head towards the wall and legs towards the window. Do you believe in your soul to be able to travel out of your body and wander around? I never thought that this is possible until this happened to me. On multiple occasions, I have the feeling of myself traveling out through the small window that is right beside my bed and flying to the rooftop to have an overview of my surroundings. I would have to say this is a cool experience, and I sort of enjoy it in some way, but it is scary at the same time as I don't have any control over where I can travel in this astral projection, as well as standing on such a high place such as the roof is scary for not just me but many people. For your information, the rooftop is considered 13 floors high. As I have no control over this dream and it is too scary, after some time, as it is repeating too often, I decided that I need to do something about what I'm experiencing, and this is how it leads to part 2 of the story. Do you find that my story is too exaggerated? I feel so too, but I'm just sharing what has happened to me and what I have experienced in my weird life. No matter if you believe my story or not, I will continue my story with the next part. What do you think about my paranormal story? I really hope my viewers like it, as well as have a first-person view of what I have been through. Feel free to ask me any questions that I might have missed out on in this story. I will share the second part soon on my channel, so remember to like, subscribe and hit on the notification bell if you enjoy the story so that you can get notified of the latest story. Thank you.